on week two. Week two, we're in March. Okay, my trip is at the end of the month. Super scared. We talk about sinking funds and saving challenges. So how can we utilize, why do we need to do these two together? Okay, let's just talk about what is a sinking fund? Okay, what is that? Do you guys know? It's my holiday. This is my cash envelopes. These are my binders that I use, okay? A sinking fund. Let's talk about what a sinking fund is. A sinking fund. Sinking fund is money set aside for planned expenses. It's for you to set money aside. So basically, how a sinking fund is small saving accounts that you're eventually going to spend. I tried to make it super easy as far as definition of it, you know, and it is an account that you're setting money aside because you are eventually going to use that money in the future and spend it. So you're planning and you're saving money towards these events or things that you need, which is an amazing thing to do. The first sinking fund that I always did was emergency, and I highly recommend everyone to start there. You should always start with emergency and then branch out and then get anything else you want, you can do. But the first one should be emergency. So when you talk about, you know, when people say, well, what is a sinking fund? Sinking funds, it is literally anything. It could be car maintenance, holidays, medical, shoes, purses, like it doesn't matter. It could be your children's sports. It could be graduation. Like there is no rule when it comes to sinking funds. Everyone's family is different, so that is up to you to decide. But like I always say, please start with emergency, okay? So why are sinking funds important? So you might ask yourself, okay, this is kind of easy to answer. Why would you think that sinking funds are important to have? You're planning your expenses. Like let's say if it's a big expense, you're planning your expenses, you're managing your money. It also helps to avoid debt. So if you don't set money aside for these different categories like emergency and things like that, then you are going to use you're going to end up using your credit card. And so we want to try to avoid people to use their credit cards so that way you can set money aside and really just be responsible and set money aside. So when the time comes, you have the money saved and you don't need to use it. It makes life so much easier. One of the things I'd like to show you is that, or talk to you, is about my holiday one. I'm going to show you the holiday. Now, I have four sinking funds, but they're in my credit union. I have so many in here. I think you can fit like about 6. These are the new little pen holders, pencil holders, highlight holder, super cute. We have 5 colors, handy pens, so we can just write out a couple things. I don't need my planner, it's on the other side, but I'm gonna grab a piece of paper. You can maybe think about what you need for yours, okay? But you always should start with emergency, okay? So start with your emergency fund, and trust me when I say this, start with your emergency fund. And I think the last video in March is about decluttering. And when you decide to declutter the house and you do the basement and you do your closet and everything like that, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'll give you a little hint. Like what you should do is start to declutter. Spring is coming. It's a perfect time to do tag sales, declutter, donate, whatever you need to do. But if you have items where you can actually sell them, take that money and put it towards your emergency fund. And that is one of the things I did too. So we'll say sinking funds. Any category, does not matter what you have, what you want to create. Like people create ones for planners. You can create whatever you want. The fact is you are setting money aside that you're eventually going to spend. So for my credit union, I have emergency. Then the second one I did was Christmas. And why? Because Christmas was one of the ones that I literally would spend the most money. Every year, I was constantly like charging the credit card. And the first time I actually set money aside and I really followed through and I started saving every week. Oh my God. When the time came to buy gifts, the first year in my life, I was not stress-free. It was an amazing feeling. And that's why one of the reasons why I decided to create the, are these it? Yeah, nope, this is it. I wanted to create the holidays. I thought that it would be super important. Like if I'm going through the same thing, then I know other people are going through the same thing. And I share with you my exact system, everything that I did, everything that I do, I share with you. So if you replicate exactly what I do, it could work. It could work for you. You know what I mean? So I have emergency Christmas and clothing and vacation. So these are the 4 that I have. So prior to me doing my business full time, I was working in a corporate office as a finance coordinator, and I paid all their bills and all this stuff for many years. And I had a credit union, so you could create sub accounts, and I believe now you could still do that even with like Bank of America. There's Capital One 360. There's a lot of banks where you can create additional savings, and and then the fun thing about it is that you can go in and change the name of it. Okay, so these are the ones that are my credit union. And what I did was I actually went through all of my sinking funds and I did a cash reset. Do you remember that? Okay, good. So I did a cash reset and holiday. My cash reset, I decided to go through a lot of the envelopes that I was actually using, and I wanted to switch things up a bit. I didn't want to have so many like the grandkids. I had each one. I had rainy day. I had just some that were so outdated, and I had them for many years. And if you've been following me for some time, you know that I've had those same ones for a long time. Amazon, Target, stuff like that. So what did I do? I broke it down. I said, well, why not just use the 1 month ahead envelopes? And so that's what I did. So these are my 1 month ahead envelopes. I have mortgage, utilities, phone bill, car payment, car insurance, kids, pets, medical, emergency, spending. Spending is going to be like Target and Amazon, subscriptions, online shopping. So these are perfect. And then kids are the grandkids. So I don't need to have, 3 separate envelopes. I didn't want to be overwhelmed with a bunch of different envelopes. You have to have the money to fill the envelopes. So let's be realistic. So for me, this works for me. The 1 month ahead envelopes is perfect. I keep those in the binder, and I keep the rest. I keep these in my credit, because these are bigger ones. This is emergency. Like, you're not going to keep thousands of dollars in your envelope. Christmas, it's a big one. Clothing, majority of time I get clothing, it's when I do it online. So I transfer money right over to my checking account and I will shop. So I'll put the money back and etc. Vacation, it's big. So these are kind of like the bigger ones, and I just leave them in the credit union because it doesn't make sense to, if you only have one of them, then you can have one envelope. I get that. If you want to take the money out and you're starting fresh, that's different. But because I'm situated and I feel like these are just larger sinking funds, I think they could stay where they are. So that's why I keep them in the credit union. And then these are the 1 month ahead. Okay. So now that you guys know what a sinking fund is, we talked about the definition, why they're important. Obviously, they're important because you're setting money aside to make it easy for you. You're trying to make it more manageable for you. Like, you don't want to be stressed out when the time comes that you have to pay something and then you don't have the money. So start ahead. Start thinking like outside the box. Start thinking ahead. Like, what are your children doing that you might need to start a new sinking fund? Like, what are they doing? Are they playing in sports? Does this cost a lot of money? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Okay, so we talked about that. I showed you my binders, but what I want to talk about now is, now that we talked about sinking funds, let's talk about saving challenges, because I want you I want to combine them. like not combine them, but I want to show you like how you can use both. That makes it fun. Okay, so saving challenges, these are just fun ways to save money. So the saving challenges are just fun ways to save money for an end goal, right? And they make it fun. So a lot of people might, if they're brand new, they'll say, well, why are you doing that? And it's like, I understand that you can just have money transferred to your savings or et cetera. Like, I get it, it's easy. But sometimes it's harder for people to have that control and to have the control to transfer money. So when it comes to saving challenges, I think it makes it fun for people and it changes people's habits, and when they complete them, they are so proud of themselves. And what is it that's like a really nice feeling, to be proud of yourself that you accomplished something, you know? So I think there's extremely important, especially if you're like brand new starting and you're trying to get trying to get better organized. And just by doing them, it just makes it fun. It just, it lightens things up a bit, because at the end of the day, we all have to pay bills. We all have to do the same thing that we do like every week. So why not just try to make it fun? Now, the thing is, I have a lot of saving challenges, and I'm not going to show you every single challenge that I have in the shop. I will show you 2 of them. This is the 52-week box, and then I have my 37 laminated in this box. Okay, so these are super affordable. Everything in my shop is created professionally. It's with good quality. Trust me when I tell you, I really do try to do that's one of the things that I value most, is good quality, because it's my name and I want something with good quality, because I use the same items that you do. Just because I got better with my budgeting and I was able to like save $10,000 in my emergency fund, it doesn't mean that I stopped. I still use the cash envelope system, and I still do saving challenges because I enjoy it. It makes it fun. So that's what I want you guys to do as well. So the saving challenges, this, like I said, this is the 52-week. So let's go ahead and add money here. Okay. So we are on week 11, and I have $11. So I'm just going to color this in. You can use a highlighter or marker. You can use a little sticker. You can use whatever. I love this so much. It makes it so much fun. And then at the end, you'll have at the end, if you do little by little, you'll have $13.98. So $1,400. Just by setting money aside. So let's talk about, okay, here we go. That's it. Okay, so let's talk about how they work together. The saving challenges and the sinking funds. So the reason why, what we have in the shop is a 52-week. We have all of these. We have the 10K saving challenge binder. We have the 100-day saving challenge binder. So there's a lot. Okay, we have children. Why did I put these 2 together? How can you use sinking funds and saving challenges to make it more like effective? What you can do is use sinking funds for your planned expenses, right? Sinking funds are for your planned future expenses that you're saving for. And the saving challenges are for extra savings or fun goals, or goals that you're completing, like challenges for yourself, and to make it fun. These saving challenges that you complete, you take that money and you put it towards one of your sinking funds. So if you're doing any saving challenges and you complete them, you can put them in your emergency envelope, or the bank. Or if you're working on Christmas, any of the challenges that you complete, you can put them towards a sinking fund envelope that you are working towards. That is what I want to stress to you, because I know that a lot of people, it's hard. If you save and you work towards it and you do fun saving challenges, whether it's like this one and it's smaller ones, that's okay. You are making progress. You're doing good if you do that. You're showing that you can stay consistent. You're showing that you can do these because they're habits. We're changing our habits, so we can start something and don't quit. You know what I mean? Okay, one of the other things I want to say is, before we go, I want to recap what I talked about. And that is what are sinking funds, why you should use them, and the importance of using them. You really should start ASAP. The very first one you should start with is an emergency fund. The second thing is starting saving challenges and incorporating them into your budgeting routine. Any time that you complete a saving challenge, you can actually take that money and put it towards your sinking fund. Okay? Good. I hope that you guys leave me a wonderful comment below and tell me how you're doing with your saving challenges. My goal is to help other women so they can feel confident with what they're doing with their budgeting journey. Okay, I will not keep you. I think you guys get the idea. So week 2 was about sinking funds and saving challenges, what they are, what the definition are for both, how you can utilize both by using saving challenges to fill your sinking funds, and why it's important for you to start with emergency. Okay, now this, I want to add a little bit of something, just a little bit, something that is not, this was not planned for me to add this part on the video, but I am, because I know people are struggling, and I had a lot of questions about budgeting funk, getting in that funk of you're not feeling it, you feel like it's the same thing, you feel like you're not getting ahead. So let's talk about that real quick. I took a long time to try to like combine a whole bunch of ideas as to why you could be feeling this way. Like this is because you're not making a dent in your savings. So like lack of progress, they would say. So let's try to figure out and narrow down why you're feeling this way. Why is it that you're, you know, we all have different reasons why we get into this mood of like, I don't feel like doing this, I'm so over it, I feel so blah, I feel like crap. You know, I don't know if that just goes along with like maybe feeling like you're depressed and there's more to it, you're just not in the mood. You know, there's a lack of desire there. So what is happening? Is it just because you feel like you're not going fast enough? You know, is it because you had emergencies or surprise expenses that, you know, happened and you feel like you just can't get ahead again? Another one is, they call it budget fatigue, is where you're tracking every single dollar, every single penny, and that really becomes overwhelming and exhausting over time. The thing is, like, okay, we just talk about budget fatigue by tracking every single dollar. What about restrictive budgets, where the budget is it's too strict, and now you feel like you're doing all this work and there's no fun? If it's too strict of a budget, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel defeated, you're going to feel like you're not getting ahead, you're not going to be happy because you want to be able to get the things you need. It's not about restricting and not getting the things you need. All we are doing is monitoring our spending and our savings. We want to make it fun. We want to create sinking funds so when emergencies happen, we have it. All we are doing is trying to be organized and prepared and in charge. That's it. You leave your money in your checking account, and the only money that you're taking out is for your cash envelopes or your sinking funds, which I have a holiday binder and I have the 1 month ahead. You sit down and you figure out what you're taking out. You fill your envelopes every week. The rest goes in your checking account, and that is it. Okay? But you can still have fun. You can still get the things that you need, okay? Maybe you're upset because you're not seeing the rewards. Like when you keep saving and it feels endless and you feel like you're not getting ahead, you have to celebrate. You have to have like little wins. That's what we talk about, wins. Buy yourself something, go out to eat, do things for yourself. It's okay. Yeah. Another thing I was thinking is, is it because like maybe you change jobs, there's like big life changes that are happening and, you know, more money was spent? I think that could be also like part of unexpected expenses like I was talking about. There's also another one that's really big. Emotional spending is a lot, like emotional spending and impulse shopping are really, really, I think a lot of people do this. When you do impulse spending or emotional spending just because you jump on, you're just like, well, you buy whatever you want. That is because you're either stressed, you're bored, or even like you're unhappy. Happiness can lead to impulse buys that deter you away from your plans and your goals of what you're doing. I always suggest to people that if you, and I do the same thing, this is what I do as well, put it in the cart and leave it for the next day. It needs to be in a good place for you to have that control. If you don't have the mindset, it's gonna take over you, and you're not gonna do the things that you need to do to get ahead, to be successful. You have to really, really kind of take a step back with impulse or boredom shopping, because that's not gonna help you in the long run. You can spend a lot of money by being bored and by impulse shopping. Another one is comparison. Don't compare yourself to other people, because this will definitely hurt you. Seeing others like spend freely on social media or constantly sharing everything they're buying. Don't believe everything that you see. I talked about this yesterday in my stories, and I'm 100% passionate about this. Don't compare yourself to others when it comes to your budgeting or anything for that matter. You don't know what really happens on the other side. You can't believe everything that you see. Just focus on you, and like I said, write out a couple goals as to what it is, why you're feeling this way. How can you change? How can you, maybe take a break for a week and come back to it after a week? But okay, I know I could talk long. I can preach forever. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, anyways, today's video was about sinking funds and saving challenges and how they both can work together. Like why, like what are sinking funds and how you could use saving challenges together, saving to add to your sinking funds. Okay, I wanted to give positive talk on budget funk, as you might call it. Budget blah. So I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that you feel better. I hope that I can resonate like with some of the topics that I talked about today. If so, please leave a message in the comment below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if this makes sense. I totally get it 100%. I really, really do. Write in your journal, start focusing on a little self-care, and I think you will be back. I think that you will feel so much better. Okay, I will be thinking of you, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye.